Thank you guys for joining Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am author Nicole D. Miller. This is my debut novel, When Love Wins. When Love Wins is the story of two young female women with a rift in their relationship. When Natalie, the faith based social justice advocate slash writer, loses her mother, she moves in with her cousin Ashley, the urban socialite, fashionista, a little bit snobby one. And instead of a warm welcome, she receives an icy cold one from Ashley. Could it be that Ashley is not liking that her ex is feeling Natalie? Maybe. Or is there more to the story? Of course, there is. You can learn more at whenlovewins.love. Let's get started. So, thank you guys for bearing with me. I have not done a live in 2 weeks for Word of the Day Wednesdays. I think part of it is because I've been preparing for Girl Talk, which, by the way, was amazing. If you missed it, sorry for you. But be encouraged, we will have our next one at the end of June. So, my blog that I released and didn't do a Word of the Day Wednesdays on is Redefining Success. So, we're going to start with that one. So, redefining success, I wrote out of this stage of my career where I have been experiencing success on different fronts, and others have brought that to my attention, but I've struggled with it because that word success hasn't felt like it fit. Like, even though I can see progress, I can see accomplishments and achievements, I haven't felt successful. And so I talked about in this blog how having my background in corporate kind of fed me this idea of what success is. And I had to kind of like pivot my mindset because now I'm not in corporate, even though I still use my business background for my businesses. But I'm a writer. I'm a writer, I'm a creative, I'm an artist. And so as a result, I have different goalposts, to measure my success by. And it was funny as I was struggling with that word success. So there was a young college student that reached out to me. She wanted to interview me. And she said, Nicole, I want to be a successful writer like you one day. And I was like, successful? I don't know. But what I realized is the success in this industry is measured differently. When you're a writer, you learn that you are sowing for seasons, okay? You are sowing in your dream. You are hustling, you're grinding, you're putting in this work on top of creating your product. And it's not until some period of time will pass that you gain the visibility that is reflected in numbers, in sales, in revenue, right? In paying your bills. And I had a conversation with someone that I esteem in the industry who's built a huge platform, who has tens of thousands of follow or eyes on their work. And he was sharing with me, like, yeah, I'm looking for something more sustainable. And I'm like, man, this is crazy because to me, you made it. Like, if you ain't make it, how am I? How have I made it? And then it was funny. I was sharing with him about like me struggling with that word success, and he was saying there was this well-known writer, best-selling novelist, accolades, da 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 da, and they had shared they only make $12,000 a year in royalties. And I was just like, man, it's like rough out here. Like $12,000 is not even part time, or not part time. It's not even minimum wage. I think minimum wage is like double that. Like I'm like, oh my god, like that's the term. That's where the term starving artist comes from. Long story short, I was able to really feel more successful once I redefined my goalposts of success in my industry. Like I can definitely say I have momentum. I have accomplishments. Now I have awards. Like I will be receiving my first award in May. I have two other nominations for awards, and I'm like, wow. And then, because I'm not just a writer, I have other areas where I'm seeing open doors and the brand being built, and Girl Talk was just phenomenal. The women that I've connected with in this season And so I do see things elevating. It's just not in this traditional way or way that I thought. So if you can relate to struggling with feeling successful in your career, even though others are saying, hey, you killed this and you did that and you're great and you're successful, and you're like, what? So if you can relate, tap into my blog at NicoleDMiller.com. All right. So the next blog is called A Second Look. And this one is funny, at least to me. And the reason I wrote it is because I feel like God has a sense of humor. I feel like He kind of showed me in my life that He put something in my life a long time ago, and I didn't see it and I overlooked it. And it wasn't until this season that I looked again and I looked at it differently with new eyes. And I kind of relate this experience to watching a movie that you've seen a million times. For me, one of those movies would be The Five Heartbeats. If you don't know the movie, we cannot be friends. I don't know why you don't know this movie. Anyways, it's an urban classic. I grew up off it. I grew up off of it. I still love it to this day. The thing is, anytime I watch it in other old movies, I get new insight. And it's not that the movie's changed, it's that I've changed. And so this is what I talk about in the blog. We as individuals should be growing and changing. Like you kind of hear people say like, "Oh, they changed," or "she changed." And they say it in a negative way. Like it's a negative thing to change. And maybe it is if you're doing negative things and you're toxic, but I'm talking about those of us who are about self growth, becoming a higher version of ourselves, right? So for me, I can value the changes that I've experienced in these 20 years of being on my faith journey. And I realized that you can look at the same thing through different eyes from a different standpoint in your journey. And you will see something different because you've changed. So I encourage you to do that in your life. Maybe you've been struggling with a closed door in your life. Maybe you've been struggling with your purpose. Maybe you've been struggling with getting a position. But revisit something that you may have overlooked. There may be something that you overlooked in your life that you just kind of need to take another glance at it. And it could be the very thing that you were missing that whole time. All right, guys. Thank you guys for checking in, tuning in, supporting. I always appreciate it. I don't think I have any major events on the table. My birthday's next week. So I guess that's a major event. But I don't have any big plans. People have asked me, like, what are you doing? I usually go all out for my birthday. Like, I'm a big birthday person. I am Aries all day. It's Aries season. I get excited. It's a month long celebration. But I have some big ticket items on the horizon. So I'm like low key in it this time around. And I just kind of want to be quiet and reflective. So I think it'll be low key. Things are always popping up. So I'm sure something will pop up as far as events. But I'm working on a lot of projects right now. Like the publishing house is taking off. I've just, sent out new contracts and invoices. We do editing services. We do beta reading services. So there's just a lot of options with that. If you are looking to write your story, looking for assistance with that, looking for publishing assistance, go to ndmiller.pub and we will definitely take care of you. But yeah, so it's more so that it's kind of gearing up for these book projects I've been working on the last year. And yes, you heard multiples. And it's preparing me for this next shift that I see my career and my life going in. So I'm gonna be quiet, I think for my birthday. Definitely got my head to the ground with these new clients that were working on their stories. And getting ready to receive that reward, the award, I should say, that is a reward. The award that I'll be getting for Career Mastered. So that is like super encouraging. My very first award that I didn't even know I would be getting awards in my career. And blessed to have that nomination through Lisa Nichols. She's a part of Girl Talk. Beautiful spirit, beautiful woman. So, yeah, stay tuned, you guys. Definitely a lot of big things on the horizon. So, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to tap into my blog at NicoleDMiller.com. See you next week.